Just as the 1960s began, in 1964, a group of young musicians traveled to the United States on a promotional tour of their newly released album in England. That group was the Beatles. They started the English invasion, the first of several in America's popular music after 1964. America's music had become very top 40 heavy in the early 60s, and except for surf and folk music, had little value of student and young American discomfort. The Beatles captured that. They captured part of that imagination. Their music had been called skiffle music in England. A skiffle band was a band that played on the street corner or in a parlor somewhere and recreated, mostly acoustically, America's mid-century blues. So, in effect, the Beatles were bringing back America's 40s and 50s Chicago, Atlanta, and Memphis blues and rewriting it into their hit songs. As the Beatles' success blossomed, it didn't blossom, it flourished. Other groups made the same trip across the pond from England to the United States. The Rolling Stones, the Mersey Sound, any of a number of groups. My mind is racing remembering all of them right now. But what's important to remember is that each of these groups was reaffirming what America's early popular musicians had constructed. Simultaneous to this commercial success, America was involved in a number of conflicts. Those conflicts resulted in an enormous catalog of protest music. Many things were being protested. Civil rights had stalled in the 50s, and it was necessary to re-energize that. America was involved in a very unpopular war in Vietnam. Equal rights had been equally ignored. Transgender rights, gay rights were also topics of the day. The economy was not in good shape either, and so week after week after week, protests happened in America's cities, sometimes violent, sometimes damaging to the cities themselves or the citizens. But America's artists, of course, took note and honored their commitment to changing the world through protest music. Let me play one for you. The song I'm going to play for you is called For What It's Worth. It's a 60s protest song, written by Stephen Stills and Mickey Fury for their group known as Buffalo Springfield. It's a really important protest song, early protest song too, because it looks at both sides of the problem. Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. Don't you think it's time we stop? Children, what that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. Thousands of people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say, hooray for our side. Don't you think it's time we stop? Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.